When I see you all gathered together like this, I realize just how few of you there are left. Your school life is slowly reaching its climax.
I wish I would reach my climax. Only 'cause of you!
Why are you making us do such cruel things to each other?
What? What? Do you really hate me so much? But I'm so cute!
Stop goofing around and begin the trial.
Don't rush me. Of course I'm gonna start it. I would never be like, stay tuned for the action-packed classic trial after this commercial break. I'd never hold out on you like that. Okay, let's begin. Get your assigned seats.
And so the curtain opened once again. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal. A deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith. A diddly 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 clash trial.
Riddly diddly diddly.
That's what I was thinking. The song.
Flanders.
Riddly diddly 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 diddly. Bum
I just
bum
think
bum
of Ned
bum.
Flanders.
Alright. Do we need to set any more skills?
Yes. I think so. Yep. There we go.
Neural liberation. The focus gauge decreases more slowly during concentration fever time. So this is for the...
We can't use it.
Yeah. Melodious voices.
It costs 5.
Yeah. Alright, we only have one thing new. Alright, so let's just not use it. Let's go to finish preparation, because I already know everything that's gonna go down. I'm a
If you
genius.
say so, man.
I think I know how it is step by step, man. It has to be Celeste.
We'll see. Finished what?
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial, so your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the Blacken, and that one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Now then, to begin with.
We already know who did it!
What's that now?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit.
Don't try and deny it! You killed them!
I didn't. Somebody knocked me out. I was asleep the whole time. I don't know anything about it.
Shut your murdering mouth, you murderer!
Who are you calling a murderer?
A murderer.
Hiro, but we do have evidence. Blueprints for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it. And all of it was found in your room. The evidence is quite compelling. It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know.
Is Hiro really the killer, or? Before anything else, we have to make that clear. Are we sure you really made those blueprints?
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hiro wrote asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared. The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? Oh, that's the... okay, it should have just said his handwriting, not note. When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them. Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think. Come on, I'm not smart enough to try to think of change my handwriting anyway.
So, Makoto, are you saying that you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hiro's innocent as well.
What? And who was in that Robo Justice suit? Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in the second suit?
The suspicious individual hidden within that suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell him who it was.
Yeah, of course, he passes it off to me. So who was in the Robo Justice suit? This suspicious individual in question is the one that must have been in the suit. The Illuminati!
Yes, the Illuminati.
Had to be Hiro. It had to be Hiro. Right?
Yeah.
Other than Hiro, I can't think of anyone else who it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit, and we could never find any second suit. This is the only suit, it was just a setup.
Then there can be no doubt. Hiro is the prime suspect.
That doesn't make any sense! You just said Hiro doesn't do
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit. So what you're saying is... That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo Justice suit.
What? Now that's a bold assumption.
And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first, so let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around.
All things have proper order. So what is it? What needs to be clarified? We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body. It would seem that his corpse was moved along using a certain particular methods.
Yeah, it
items,
was
and methods.
Hifumi that did it.
Makoto, enlighten us.
The things that were used to move Taka's body, they must have been the dolly. We click on the dolly, right? This is the first thing, and I usually click on the first thing that is right, and then they tell me I'm wrong. I got it. There's still one more thing. The things that were used to move Taka's body, they must have... What the freak?
There were two things,
Oh,
not
yeah,
just
yeah.
one.
Hey, do I need to click on the bloodstain?
No.
The bloodstain didn't move his body.
Oh, the tarp, right?
They picked up the bloodstain and just moved him using it.
The tarp.
Go, blood.
I choose you.
They were a dolly and a tarp, right? What's with that attitude? So let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room, and then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right? It was the same tarp that up until then was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp and the dolly.
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so many flashbacks, so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body, am I right? But are you sure you are not mistaken?
I am not mistaken. Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. Strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway.
Hey.
We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
Hey,
She's not
what do you
wrong.
mean by that? That's basically how he responds with everything. He's like, what do you mean by saying that? Wow, I've never had anyone sound so nice or being so mean, but maybe I can change her mind. If I can just explain to them why the dolly must have been moved from the equipment room to the repository.
Is this a new element?
Yeah.
Yes.
A new element has been added to the bullet time battles. Would you like to hear more?
Yes!
Okay. Let's talk about reloading. Starting with this next bullet time battle, we're going to add one more ingredient to the recipe. It's more death. On the bottom of the screen underneath the tempo marker, you will see an ammo counter. Up until now, there hasn't really been a limit on how you destroy your opponent's statements, but from now on, just locking on and pressing the Y button, or whatever you guys got, won't be enough to handle. Now, it will cost you 1 bullet to destroy a single remark. Once you run out of bullets, you can't destroy any more statements, no matter how locked on you are. However, you can reload by pressing the X button.
Tab.
Just like locking on, you'll have to press the X button or tab in time with the tempo marker. Basically, just remember that the X button now has a function along with the A and Y buttons.
Tab
You will
key
automatically
button.
reload at the start of fever time, and your ammo will now decrease. Oh, but if your action difficulty is set to gentle, you won't have to reload at all, in which case you can ignore everything I just said. Well then, good luck and have fun.
So this is the rhythm game thing, right? No?
Yep.
Alright. Oh, what the freak? Alright, I did it anyways, so...
Magic.
I even did it without the time thingy.
I just button mashed the entire time.
I already got it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're asking for proof that the dolly moved, I have it right here! When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that had matched the dolly's wheel tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident when they wheeled the body out of the room. And as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body. I mean, look at her freaking face. Jesus, Celeste really hate me that much?
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Well, let's get back to the main subject.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo Justice didn't do it, because if he's not the robot killer, then what kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters. I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer.
But I'm going to allow Makoto to tell you.
If you look back on how the body was transported, it becomes immediately obvious.
If I look at how the body was moved, it'll be clear why the person in the suit couldn't have done it. What does he mean by that? Wait. Oh, the person in the suit couldn't have moved the body? Oh, yeah, probably. You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But can you bring it to the flow? But if you were actually wearing the suit, you don't think that you could actually get in a position like that. Well, what do you mean? Think back to what you said when you were checking out the suit together. Remember? I'm as blind as a bat here. I can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised I got anywhere in this thing.
I'm telling you, it wasn't me.
And not to mention, you totally can't bend at the waist. It seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
Now that's mean.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that? Oh, now that you mention it, yeah.
Seems like it'd be awfully hard to push a dolly if you can't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
You can't see it? Well, you can't even see your feet. You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way? Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body? That's absolutely no chance that the costume was taken off just to move the body, because once it's on, you can never take it off. Right? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh no, you can't take it off by yourself. That was dumb.
Damn it.
What do you mean I have to live the rest of my life as Robo Justice? Did you get this too, Matt?
No, I didn't click it. I'm not an idiot.
He said he's gonna get all moldy.
Oh.
And then Kyoko was like, but you have taken it off. And then Yasuhiro was like, oh.
Just forgot.
You can't take it off by yourself. I don't think taking off the suit was an option, if you remember.
I don't know what's up with this thing, but I can't actually get it off. A little help?
Why would you make something that you cannot take off by yourself?
I didn't make the stupid freaking thing.
There's a clasp on the back that's keeping you from getting it off. Looks pretty sturdy. I don't think you can get it off on your own.
I mean, I wish I could get off on my own.
We don't really have a choice. Let's help him.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then you really can't take it off by yourself. Hiro's just making it up.
Of course I wasn't making it up.
If he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect him.
Yeah, that's right.
So, it's really, really true that Robo Justice couldn't have moved the dolly.
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hiro in the robot suit, correct?
No, wait, just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took? You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo Justice? Whoever was in that suit was not the culprit. How do you explain that?
That's also the camera that Hifumi had, so Hifumi was the accomplice to Celeste.
No, Celeste got the camera back as soon as we got the camera.
Oh, yeah, that's
remember?
true, that's true.
Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
How did you get hurt?
Oh crap. Hold on. How do I get to the thing again? I'm lost. Alright, hold up.
Chicka, 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 ch.
That guy hit me.
What guy?
Robo Justice. That's what I just decided to call him just now.
You see, also my accomplice theory also shows how he knows that it's called Robo Justice instead of, like, he should have not
I
been able
don't
to
know
know.
what you're talking
Unless
about.
he designed it himself.
No, it's not, he's an accomplice, he didn't, no. I mean, he probably designed it, but he
So
wasn't
long
the
as
Who
those
knows,
facts
man?
exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hiro without a doubt.
She's pushing this pretty hard.
I mean, I wish I could push things really hard. Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Hold on a second.
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it. Shouldn't we explore every single possibility? Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Up.
Curses.
Let's... foiled again. Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover
That's
something
a book
new.
series.
What
a
a
new
pain.
movie they made into trash.
I never read the books or saw the movie, I don't think. Maybe
The
I
first
saw the
movie was really good, actually.
I think I might have, like, isn't
I
that
did
movie
like
pretty
it.
old? Like, really old?
It's pretty old at this point.
Yeah, I think I saw it when I
10
was
years?
a kid.
Wasn't the guy like Jim Carrey or something?
Yeah,
it was Jim
Yeah.
Carrey.
Yeah,
It was
I think
Jim
I think
Carrey.
I saw it as a kid. I don't remember a single freaking thing about it though.
I don't either. I just
Into a
remember-
TV
I
show.
actually
TV
read
show
all
on
those
Netflix
books.
now.
The books are really good. The first one wasn't even the best book. All the rest were even better, but they never made movies out of them.
The books are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were good.
I never read them. Maybe I will.
I'm waiting on Jill.
Oh, what? Jill, I already said my line. I said, "Pah! What a pain in the butt!" Woo!
That's not what she said. But
What did
okay.
she say?
Close
Well,
enough.
She said, "What a pain in the ass."
Oh yeah. But
Ass.
I'm
I don't
Taka
disagree,
still.
but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Every character is a mix of Taka now. So
You know, everyone.
you just gotta call it Genocide Taka. And like
No.
Takoi. That
not-
sounds like an
not
actual name.
taking-
I'm sure there's someone in Japan's named Takoi.
You're not taking Genocide Jack from me. I actually like that character.
Okay. Then Taka Jack.
No,
Okay.
Taka's not being included. Taka's dead.
But his spirit lives
Nope.
on. Oh.
Nope.
But maybe one day we'll find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then. Let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. You thought you skipped this bitch? Hell no, I'm back for more. We waited there for a while, but nobody else showed up. so we went to look for everyone.
Wait, is that the thing that we said no to?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is this word for word what she was gonna say there?
No, it's very close, though.
Alright.
That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and myself.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when you saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume.
Wait, but wasn't Taka attacked at 6 a.m.?
As it turns out, it was Robo Justice. It also soon became clear that this Robo Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office... What's wrong?
I saw a shadow, something moving around at the top of the stairs.
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the 2nd floor. And soon after that...
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled at everyone as soon as I did.
Celeste, what's wrong?
That was a rather intense scream for someone like you.
I saw him, the strange costumed man. He ran off as soon as I screamed.
I'm getting more and more suspicious of her.
Yeah, you see? It is her. It's guaranteed to be Celeste. It's not nobody else.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So
And
he
it's Celeste with
headed
Hifumi as an
further down into the
accomplice.
hallway and
A
disappeared.
scream that was a bit much for her, maybe overacted. She keeps seeing it and leading them in a direction that normally they wouldn't have gone.
She's also the one refuting every single possibility. And also,
Maybe.
not only that, but if you accept that Hifumi's the accomplice, Hifumi would obviously go along with Celeste.
Why do you say that?
Because Hifumi was making tea for Celeste. She was spitting it in his
You
face.
think Hifumi would, help plan a murder?
Yes.
Just because he was making tea for her?
Yes.
That seems a bit far-fetched, my friend.
Yes.
He likes a good dominatrix.
Well,
Plus,
but he wasn't even enamored with her anymore, remember? He wanted alter ego. He
Well,
didn't
I mean-
care about Celeste anymore.
he likes both of them.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Maybe Celeste blackmailed him with alter ego or something, and then
I don't know. That's Hifumi.
Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah.
What
Remember,
was
because
that?
we started...
Yeah.
We went up to the 3rd floor, and then Hifumi screamed, and we split up.
Yeah. What was that?
Stairs. It must have been.
Oh, Hifumi's in the nurse's office. Let's go get him. This is bad. Come on, we go back.
I thought you stole her line for a second there.
Me too. I spoke too fast. At that point, we decided to divide up into 2 groups. Celeste, Tina, and I went back to the nurse's office. While Sakura, Byakuya, and Toku chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi dead. But not actually dead. But he was dead. But not actually. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. And the body discovery was for Taka upstairs, not Hifumi. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor and let the others know what had happened. Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room.
Bro! Hey!
Oh. There's so much text, man!
Apologies, my voice became a lot lighter for a second there. We must have found both bodies at exactly the same time. Because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
Yeah, you sounded like me there for a second. That's when I told you guys about Hifumi.
I'm good at impressions.
What the frick is this?
We all are.
The 3 of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us, and she told us something very surprising.
Hifumi's body has disappeared.
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again. This can't be happening. Are we hallucinating all this or something? But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing.
From Hifumi
Next
grabbing
thing we
it.
knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time, Celeste informed us she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository. Which is where we rediscovered the corpses, of course.
And then there was another body discovery about Hifumi, because Hifumi died right there. He wasn't dead before. I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated. It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. Uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
The contradiction hidden what happened to Taka. In order to
It's
uncover
time
the
for
truth
Phoenix Wright.
of this case, I have to find them and object them! Alright.
You're objecting the truth?
I believe I know the truth. I think Celeste did it. Hifumi's the accomplice. Hifumi didn't die the first time, but he died after Celeste felt his time was up. Now, hold on! There's no reason to assume the Nemers were using the I didn't even click that and it skipped on its own. Why am I in auto mode? Why am I in auto? Why do I stop this? Why am I don't know how to stop this.
Better click
Spacebar.
F2, my
It was
friend.
spacebar, alright. I have to scroll all the way up. Oh, man.
Nice.
Where was I? Alright.
If
Oh.
anything,
If anything, there's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
so you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order. But in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see proof.
Alright. Evidence that proves Taka was killed before Hifumi. There's one thing that relates to what time he must have died. The 6 o'clock time! Oh, this is a hangman scan, but I forget what happens. Is it watch? Holy freak!
We click letters.
Okay, it's wristwatch, alright.
You figured it out. Congratulations.
Proud of you.
It was a really big word. They could have just said wristwatch. I mean, just watch. Or just wrist. Or
I was
just...
like, they did say wristwatch.
I've got it! Taka's wristwatch! See, look! What the fr- See, look at this picture in my mind. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer, because as of last night...
Hey, you! How long you gonna keep us waiting? Taka's irritated voice pierced the air as he stared pointedly at his wristwatch. It's almost 10 o'clock, you know that bedtime for the little boys and girls.
After 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of the events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. By the way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make the wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder. But all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him at least, we're all safe. Except Celeste. Huh? What was that?
That was Tim Allen.
What?
It came from
Oh?
downstairs. It must have been.
Hifumi, he's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we gotta go back. When we heard Hifumi screaming, we all went together, all except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran to the nurse's office, and that's when we all found his body. That's totally true! We're all in the clear.
Oh, I know. They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, and then played it later.
Come on, Joss, just be quiet. If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
Don't go making stuff up.
Anyway,
I like how no one gives
we
a
all-
crap of what he just said.
we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. And since all of us were together, clearly none of us could have killed him. Done and done.
And it does not stop there.
It doesn't stop
There was
coming.
also the moment when we discovered his body and had disappeared. Nurse's office. Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then, his body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi's going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then. Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Have you seen him? Because, as we had just established, he was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies.
Hifumi wasn't dead.
On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
So what now, Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing. And according to what Celeste said...
Not have gone for more than a minute or two, though.
So then the killer was able to get in and move Hifumi's body in that short amount of time. That means the moment that Celeste left, Hifumi just got up and walked away.
It would seem so.
Exactly, see, Celeste just played herself. His body apparently disappeared 1 minute. Hina and her took her eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time...
Oh man, yeah, there's no that. That's impossible.
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make it to make the impossible possible?
But that's impossible. What? How?
Does it cost $19.95?
If the dead body were to move itself.
Exactly, you see? I got it right all along. Huh? The dead body moved on its own?
No, not another ghost. I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is... we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
He was alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we found his body, he was dead?
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
The idea that Hifumi was still alive. I knew it all along, but is it really possible?